There, just clicked 4. Very good. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Any citizens' input? Any delegations? Any additions or deletions from our last agenda? What's that? Oh. So just nothing from that. Need to approve the minutes from our September meeting.
So moved.
Joel? Tom? All those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Financial reports for September.
Everybody else here okay, or should I go shut the doorway?
Yeah.
For the cemetery bills, about the only thing stuck out to me was, I believe on the third page, there was the last part of the front of the building for $5,590 to finish that project. It was installing the garage doors. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward stuff.
So now we haven't done the back of the building yet.
No.
That's next year?
No, I didn't have in the budget for next year. Next year I had in for concreting the west side of the shop.
Okay.
That's all just dirt right now. So my hope is that we just kind of keep plugging portions of the building off. It's from, I believe, 87 was when it was built, and there were some issues with the front of the building, and after we redid the office part, it made the rest of the front of it look pretty shabby. So that was just kind of the next step. So
okay.
So yeah. Does anybody see anything else on cemetery bills that they want to answers on?
Pretty brief list.
Yeah. Golf course side, gas, electric, repair on a vent.
What's the 75,000 at the bottom?
Repayment of the 2013 golf carts.
Okay.
Back to Jim.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. I was thinking they had to the first payment on the equipment.
Yeah, no, this is transfer.
Yep.
So does that make us right there then?
That's cleared up.
For the short term.
Anything else? Any questions on the golf course bills?
So let the record reflect we have now paid our debt from 2013. Correct?
Correct.
Nice.
So the latest one then, when is that going to start?
But technically we paid, we paid for some of it up front. And then the rest of it, it would be next year.
The next 4 years.
Yeah, the next 4 years. So,
Like around this time, the next 4 years, or is it like?
I don't know if it was really set.
It wasn't. It'd be nice if we did it at the end of the season.
Yeah, just to make sure where we're at and everything. So,
That's the equipment package?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So without beating a dead horse, can we come to an agreement with the city as to when they want payment, so we don't run into the same situation that we've been running into?
Yep.
Like happens every November, every October. They want it
Yep.
quarterly. what. I don't want a repeat.
Any other questions on the bills?
Nope.
Okay. On the cemetery revenue, we are quite a bit ahead of last year. I haven't even looked at this yet, so openings are up quite a bit. That's the main thing that's up significantly from last year. Aaron has been selling a lot of grave sites, not all for the city, a lot for Calvary and whatnot. So, yeah, revenue is looking fairly good. Last year we did not meet the revenue budget, so hopefully we hit that this year. Expenses. We have, was it 22,000 for professional services? I don't remember what that was. That wasn't the bathroom, was it?
No, that was 19. That would be under capital. Right here. Is that cemetery expansion? No.
Oh, that was cemetery expansion plans, and they're in progress, but they're not done yet. Otherwise, chemical was just slightly over. Expenses wise, cemetery is doing fairly well, keeping within budget. Any questions there?
Nope.
Golf course revenue, everything's looking really good. Cart storage fees are coming in right now. Punch cards we probably won't make unless if we have a couple come in to buy for Christmas presents or something. Probably won't quite hit that, but we're close. Annual trail fees, we won't hit that at this point in time. Miscellaneous is possible, but otherwise we've hit pretty much every other line item. So, any questions on revenue?
219,000 for carts, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? More than membership fees.
Yep.
Yep.
So we're 108,000 ahead of last year. Is that column next to it was last year at this time, was 617? Huh. Business is booming.
Any other questions there?
And our expenses are about 20,000 ahead of last year.
Utilities was 36 of it. Computer software another 2,000.
Yeah.
Um,
Sand 2,500. And Eric's earnings increased based upon usership.
Yep. Which we would expect.
So, any questions on? Expenses?
Don't think so. Need a motion to approve the financials.
Oh,
Terry. Second?
Second.
Joe. All those in favor of approving the financials signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. They are approved. Eric, clubhouse report.
I haven't been at the last two meetings, so I'll just kind of get you caught up from. I know Jason went over my clubhouse report when I was gone, but back up to August and September. I mean, they were great months. Weather was awesome. Events were all going through with high school golf starting, all the other events going on and everything. College practice starting up. Member play and just public play has been. I mean, we get nice days. We're still here in October. I know I talked to Jason the other day. Basically, October 1st through the 13th, we've had an average of 100 rounds played each day from October 1st to October 13th. The last couple days have been bad weather, but I mean, that's just 1,300 more rounds in October, 100 per day on average. As most of you noticed throughout the summer, junior golf activity, a lot more junior golfers playing, even from college kids coming out to play, high school kids. Playing has increased a ton. A lot more families are playing. That reflects from the family memberships, the City Fund Pass, all the families that get memberships on that. Back up to the programs that we had this year. My numbers of increase in my junior program that I run in June. At the addition of the first tee program, which was awesome to have through July. It brought new families out, different new juniors out. That had a little bit bigger age range than what mine does. That starts from 6 years old all the way up to 18-year-olds. Mine are basically from 7-year-old up to 14-year-old. So it's nice to have the first tee edition this year, which increased those number of juniors and families playing and practicing golf. Back to the high school team, high school boys golf and DW men's and women's had practice out there all fall long, plus a couple other area schools. Mount Vernon High School, Parkston was out there practicing this fall in August, September, and leading up to their state tournament, which happened a couple weeks ago. The list of events that we had in September, we didn't have any events on the course in October here. We did just have the Mitchell High School boys team banquet on Tuesday night, finishing up their season. And then at the end of the report, just some state events that we are on the docket to have in coming years. Next year in 2026, it's confirmed the SDGA State Mid-Am Championship will be here June basically 5th, 6th, and 7th, with the 5th being the practice round on the Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday being the event. And then in the fall of 2026, we'll have the South Dakota High School Activities Association State A Boys Golf Tournament. That's on the Monday and Tuesday, August 4th and 5th. In 2027, it's already confirmed that we will be having the SDGA State Two-Women Championship. That's the second weekend, I believe, in June 12th and 13th. We're slated for 2028 to have the B Boys and Girls Golf Championship. That's still not confirmed yet. And then in 2029, we are already confirmed to host the South Dakota High School Activity Association State Double A Girls Tournament on June 4th and 5th. So there's their spring season for that.
It's going to be both boys and girls on Lakeview.
That's why it's not confirmed yet. It's dependent on 2 18-hole courses. So the contracts have not been signed yet for that one quite yet.
This the first A we've ever had.
First A's we've
Who's
ever had.
hosting? That they're letting it go out of a non-hosted team.
Parkston is going to be the host school, to my knowledge. They
They
want
always
to be.
bought their own towns.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of, I mean, Parkston was super excited when they found out they had the Parkston invite in September, and they found out, I think, that day, and they're like excited they're having it at Lakeview. So it's the first time A's have ever been hosted in Mitchell and at Lakeview.
We will have the Park and Rec conference, state conference will actually be that week also. So obviously we won't be able to do anything those 2 days, but maybe the day after, 6th or 7th, we might have some Park and Rec people out partaking in the golf course. So just a FYI.
Any questions on that portion of the clubhouse report? And it shows, it reflects in the revenue. I mean, the revenue for tournament, sponsor fee, tournament fees, basically. I mean, we hosted this year, we had the SCGA Adult Junior Championship and the Junior Championship, plus all these other events that generate revenue. I mean, we're up from 28,000 last year up to 46,000 in tournament fees. So, I mean, it just goes to show when you do have these state events and stuff and all these other fundraisers and stuff that we try to accommodate to, I mean, it generates revenue from those tournament days plus outside those days from people coming to play the course, practicing leading up to those state events.
SDGA pays the same amount, whether it's state mid-am or the adult juniors at the same rate across the board.
It's the same. It's the same rate no matter what tournament it is, but it is the junior tour events. It's the same rate no matter what, but then it depends on number of entries. It's 60% of the SDGA fees, entry fees, goes to the host course to pay for use of the course, to pay for gift certificate payout. All that stuff is figured in from them. We don't really set the rates for them. 60% of the entry fees from this SCGA event comes to the host course.
Gotcha. Mid-am won't be as big as the adult junior was this year, but the mid-am is still pretty darn
So the adult junior championship was the biggest state tournament the SCG's had on record with 318 participants, I want to say. I was gone. I don't know if this was shared, the SCGA, the breakdown of how much was brought in by the adult junior championship and the junior championship. But it was 318, I want to say, was the number of participants in that. And now they're going to two different weekends,
yeah.
in different age groups because it's just getting too big. So we basically are part of history for the SDGA having the largest event. And then just from these numbers I'm looking, I don't know if this was shared when I was gone, but total income for the city from the practice rounds to the Sunday event and then the 3-day junior event was $24,449 just from those, which is
That's just the golf course.
that's just the golf course.
How many people stayed the night?
Yep, stayed the night.
That's just it. Every one of those are multiple day. Then you got practice rounds in front of that. So you've got hotels, restaurants. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Nice job in successfully accommodating all those, Eric.
And we got good compliments from the SCGA staff. They sent an email. I mean, all the participants, parents that were there and everything. Nothing was but compliments from the course standpoint to hospitality of hosting the tournament, everything. So,
And I'll just throw a plug in. I play a fair amount of SDGA events around the state, and no two are the same in terms of service from the local clubs, but I'm pretty proud of the fact of how you guys accommodate tournaments. Some of them are just, you show up and you play, but here you've got people at the range, you've got spotters out there, you've got the whole package deal, and that isn't the case at every event. And I know the participants really appreciate that extra effort. And that's probably why we're kind of sought after.
Every year we're slated to have something come there. They can't, but
Always on the docket. I play a ton of those too, and I'm biased, but it's not close.
Yeah,
What we do here.
keep it up. It's really, really good. Hi, Lynette.
I was trying to sneak in, but that didn't work.
That didn't work. We're glad you're here.
Pass the clubhouse report on that to the rounds played membership numbers for the year. Top of the page there. It's got 2023 rounds, 25,416. Then we got total last year in 2024, which was 37,155. This year, which it doesn't match up, when I talked to Jason, I go back through at the end of the year to make sure I didn't miss any league play, any ladies' day scramble tournaments, make sure all the tournament numbers are up. So we are at a total of 36,940 after going back through to make sure all the events, all the leagues, all the different things going on there. We had over 5,000 rounds in September, which is, I mean, there's some Septembers that we'd be at 2,300, 2,400, 3,000 rounds. And I mean, we're at 5,100s. That's including all the events that come through in September, from high school events to any of the fundraisers, to the ladies closing scramble, to Tuesday night league and all that. So we're already through October 13th. We're at about roughly 1,300-ish rounds per se. So we'll be getting upwards of, depending on what the rest of October into November here looks like, 38,000-ish, 39 maybe-ish rounds. Be hard to tell here once.
Do you know what we did last September?
October, you mean? We did 20.
No, September.
Last September
We
we
did
did, it was
51.
47, I believe, around
So a little
47,
ahead.
so a little higher
Yep.
this September, but the weather was
Yep.
about perfect.
I know it's anecdotal because you don't track this stuff, but we have 93 new members. Where are those 93 new members coming from?
Most of them come from the city of Mitchell, the Fun Pass portion, the new families that join. Some of them are just new people from Mitchell that hadn't joined in the past. A lot of them, though, are the families that join, because if you get a family of 5 that join, I mean, that's one member, but a lot of it's from the city of Mitchell Fun Pass.
Well, yeah, I mean, family numbers are
Yeah.
349 in 2024 and 371 this year.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like the singles went down either.
Yeah, singles went
Neither
up.
did the couples.
So, I mean, you look at 2024 numbers, 168 singles, well, up to 203. Almost 168 of those last year members joined this year again, and then plus another 43 or whatever it is. Then you get a few new college students that come into Dakota Wesleyan or Mitchell Tech, and they join. There's 2 new ones that used to play high school golf for Kimball, maybe, and they went to school at Mitchell Tech, so they got college memberships this year. It's kind of dependent on the year and who's coming back and who's coming new to town to
When
play
you say
golf.
new families, are you talking new golfing families?
Yeah. A little bit of both. New golfing families and new non-golfing families that got the Fun Pass. Other than that, I mean, range is a high traffic area all year. I mean, there's people out in that driving range all the time, hitting balls, lunch hour, practice greens. Always people chipping and putting over lunch hour for the practice green. Numbers overall was very good.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And there were days, I mean, weekends, usually 220 to 250 rounds played. There were about 6 Saturdays or Sundays that we had over 300 rounds played on the weekends. So. That's kind of all I have, unless there's questions from the year. I mean, just going back to the adult junior doesn't even feel like it happened this year, and it didn't happen that long ago, just with how busy it's been.
Well, keep up the great work. I mean, with that volume of players, I don't hear complaints. In fact, most everything's positive, and I'm sure you're ready for snow to fly.
Yeah.
And that's says a lot about you. It says a lot about the course. It's great job.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Eric?
Noted.
Thank you. Superintendent report.
For the community gardens, we pushed back the mandatory clean out date to the 20th, which is this coming Monday. A lot of people have already cleaned out, but the weather, we haven't had a freeze yet, so cemetery, the bike path trail has started. If we wouldn't have gotten rain this week, he might have even finished it this week. There will be trees planted along the homeowner side of it this fall yet, and then the other side will wait until the cemetery expansion plan is a little bit more in place. We will probably dormant seed the dirt or along the bike path. This is not for our columbarium, but the Serviceman Cemetery will be putting in columbarium here in November, I believe, first part of November. They did the cement work earlier this year. The bathroom is moving forward. The date is not determined yet. So if not everybody knows, the area is getting surveyed out, and then the Servicemen's Board is going to sell it to the VFW. The VFW will see it through to construction, and then it will get turned over to the city. So, and I believe it's already been annexed, or it's in the process. So it's either already been annexed into the city, or it's in the process of it. So
I know the survey line was off by about a foot. It's my
Yeah.
understanding from what I heard from Joe this morning, so that may not be completed yet either.
yeah, and I think the only reason for that was because when they were setting it up, they didn't realize that the county property actually went out into the road a little bit on the north end, and then part of where the parking lot is actually was actually already city property. So there was two of the points were actually into the asphalt, and it would cut off a little bit of concrete. So sounds like they got to redo that. But with all that considered, talking to Dean, it might not happen till in the spring, but it's moving forward. So, Calvary Cemetery is doing some cement projects. They're again not our projects, but it's happening in the cemetery. We mark trees for removal. Otherwise, cemetery is doing a lot of just general maintenance practices that we do on a yearly basis. Golf course. We aerified greens. Actually, it's been about 2 weeks ago. Be spraying for weeds. I was hoping to this week, but it's probably going to be next week now with the rain and wind. Hopefully aerify the tee boxes here. All the events are done for the year. Did some recall work on the rental carts. There was a spring that was recalled, so they went through last week, or was it earlier this week?
Earlier this week, Monday.
Went through all the carts and got all that done. There is some warranty work that I'm looking at. The seats are cracked, but I was told that that's more of a prorated deal, so I'm waiting for numbers on that to see how much of that they will cover. Mowing has started to slow down. Play has actually been, up until this week, has been pretty good for October, so there again, marked some trees for removal and just finishing up general maintenance and getting through the year. So, any questions?
I got some suggestions for trees for you to remove. I got a few ideas for you on what
Okay.
trees to remove
Okay. Ones that are
in my way.
in your way? Okay.
I think they should be planted right in the middle of the fairway.
I'd be much safer.
Sorry, Tom. He says, what trees?
We will be having some trees planted going forward, so if somebody does have some spaces that you think would be applicable to put a tree or two, you can let me know. So, if you don't care, it's fine.
That's easier to complain afterwards.
Well,
So just knock yourself out.
okay.
Get at least one board person to go along with you.
I
Even
don't
if
see,
they're
I don't see anybody moving,
Even if they're blindfolded.
so.
All right. Anything else for Jason? All right. Phase 3 short course discussion. I was unable to attend the budget hearing. I'll probably turn this over to Dan here in a minute, but as it was so dutifully pointed out during the meeting and in the paper, I was combining corn, which now all the public is aware of. Thank you.
I think about to dry a little bit.
But I did listen to it.
I've got a couple friends already.
Back.
The same opinion.
And so it was sent back to us for a discussion and a recommendation to send back with Dan to the council. There was no action taken at the time. The feeling or whatever with the council was not to go ahead with the renovations on number 5 for 14 and pursue the short course option. And some figures were jockeyed around, I guess, and they came up with a final cost estimate and what the contribution of the city would be along with the golf course and any private donations we come up with. It's my hope that we'll discuss this as a group, but little bit, this might be a little bit redundant, but kind of a backstory on where the part 3 or the short course came from was in the original master plan. That was quite a ways down the list in priority. And once we started in phase 1, got through or into phase 2, I know I personally had a lot of people come up to me and ask about this short course concept. And it was supposed to be on the south end of the driving range, supposed to be a practice area for beginners and kids and anybody that wanted to just work on their short game. And I'm sure the other board members and others as well, Jason, Eric, all received a lot of support from the public about pursuing that. And so nothing in the master plan is set in stone, as you all know. It's flexible. It's just a working document. And, as a group, we made the decision based on public input and need to reprioritize that along with our true phase 3 project on the course itself. But in order for that to happen, we needed support from the council and the mayor and everybody else, because there would be an influx of general fund dollars to help subsidize that project. And the project got cut during the first round of the budget hearings by the mayor and the city administrator. And then during the budget process with the council, it was resurrected again. And similar to our phase 2 project, And at the last discussion meeting, which was a week ago Monday, it was actually resurrected again in the council meeting with interest in pursuing the short course only. And that's what our discussion is going to be about tonight, to send a recommendation back with Dan to the council on what our board recommends moving forward. And I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but the cost is around $1 million. I think it's 900 plus contingency and design fees. And the golf course will contribute $250,000 in private donations. And the balance of our contribution would be in, we recommended foregoing the cart path on 15 for another year to come up with some other funds to kind of contribute to that. And I don't know what the breakdown is exactly, but it looks like it's around 67 to 70% of the entire project is funded from the golf course itself. The balance, 300 and some thousand, would be from general fund dollars. So that's where we're sitting. Dan, you have anything to add?
No, they wanted input from the board, so I'd like to hear everybody's thoughts on the project.
Go ahead.
I would echo kind of what Jeff was saying, is that I've had several people over the last couple of years when we started doing all the projects,
Mic on.
that was the number one thing for them. Anytime that was mentioned that they would do a short course or a par 3 course, I never had anybody say anything negative about it, but a lot of people were excited about it.
My question would be, the clubhouse is so far away, are we charging fees to play the 5-hole course? Like we're playing from the,
It's one north of the
location.
It's one where the practice green out,
Yeah.
so it's not really.
That-
Not on the little driving range.
The original,
whole driving range?
No, we decided to move it to the north for that exact reason. Down the south and around the south end of the driving range around the corner, there's plenty of land there, but there's no oversight. And so I think it was Kevin Norby or Jason or somebody actually mentioned where the bowling green's at. We've got a fair amount of property in there up to Joe Kippas's.
it's about 5 acres, and then there's a possibility of 2 more acres.
Is that to the east, the possibility part,
No, to the north.
the extra ones?
Yeah, we would have to purchase the land for that, though.
The advantage of that is, well, like you're alluding to, Joe, is that the clubhouse staff can monitor it. And I do anticipate, we still need to have those discussions about how do you charge somebody to use the place, whether it's included in a membership or you have a short course fee, but.
I assume it'd be included in membership.
Right. But those are discussions we'll have if it does come to fruition, and plus the topography is really nice there. If you go out and look at that place, it's got some contours to it. It's got some trees that can be kept. I think aesthetically, I think it'd be way better than down south where you've got some actual, it'll look nice, I think, in there. Plus we got the room to do it. The other advantage of this, and I don't know if it was even talked about at the council meeting, is that project will not impact the golf course if it does come to fruition. Any construction, anything like that would not affect any play on the golf course itself. And I was just talking to Eric earlier for numbers, and I helped with the first tee program, and I helped a little bit with Eric's, and I couldn't believe the number of kids we had. And he said it was around 115 kids in those 2 programs, and that's just unreal. It reflects what we're seeing in our rounds and revenue and everything else. And what a great place for anybody. I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be the kids, but what a great starting point instead of sending them out on the golf course. And if you have tournaments, and I know a lot of other courses around the country are adding these. It's a new type of golf, I guess, and so the popularity of this is really rising, and I think we can see the benefit of that here greatly.
As far as I know, what would be the second one? I know Brookings Country Club has the rabbit patch up there, whatever the heck they call it. That's pretty similar, but do you know of anybody else in South Dakota that's got this?
Edgebrook does.
Edgebrook, Brookings.
So Brookings actually has 2.
And so does Elmwood. They have
That one.
I think theirs is like 3 holes. It's right out in front. 4, maybe. Not sure.
All right, well, I'll jump in. I think this is a no-brainer. I couldn't ever imagine telling anybody that we don't want this short course. Like our part of our mission here when we've talked about this stuff is we want to grow the game, and this par 3 course is going to grow the game. It's going to grow the game for the kids. Look at our junior numbers. Like you just said, 115 some kids between all of those programs. Look at our family range passes that went up. Our single range passes dropped like 4, but our family range passes went up 19. And that's why I asked Eric, of these 90 some new members that we have, how many of those are new to golf, right? And there's a large chunk. And if you spend any time out there, you know that there's a ton of people who are new to the game of golf out there who are playing. I personally know a ton of people just that I work with who are getting into the game of golf, who love the idea of this par 3 because it's not intimidating. It's not going out on the course. It's not being intimidating. I get the whole 4, 5, and old 14, new 13. I get it. But that project doesn't grow the game. That project doesn't grow the game. That project also doesn't take pressure off of our golf course, which if you listen to any of these meetings in the last year, you know that's something that we've talked about, is we have to take pressure off of our golf course. And we also want to grow the game at the same time. It was brought up that we need to raise rates, get more rounds, and get more members. So I did some numbers here. In 2025, for a family membership with a family cart with a family range, which is pretty traditional, if you're going to get one, you're probably going to get the others. It's just short of $2,000, $1,900, $1,935. In 2018, the same thing would have cost you $1,520. It's a 27.5% increase since 2018. For the exact same thing for a couples membership with a couples cart, couples membership, and then the family range pass, we've increased it 30% in that same time. For a single membership, for all those things, we've increased it 30% in that time. We went up essentially 5% across the board last year. We're going to talk fees again today, and I don't know, but I would imagine I don't want to say that we're going to, but I wouldn't be shocked if we don't take an increase again next year just because expenses go up and all those things. So my question is, if we've gone up 30% in that time frame, and I actually broke it down over the last 5 years too, since 2020, which throw 2020 out because it was COVID. But we still made money during COVID too. And we've made money every year since COVID. Our rounds have gone up every year since COVID. Our rounds have gone up every year since 2018, as far as I know. And we are going to set record numbers of rounds this year, on top of a record number of rounds last year, on top of a record number of rounds the year before. None of this stuff is going anywhere. And all of the trends that we're seeing, they are going up. So I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't take an increase again this year. So to that raise rates, my question is how much higher would you like us to go? When is enough? Like to the point that we start charging country club prices for a golf course that isn't a country club? Get more rounds played. I just went through it. In 2021, we played about 24,000 rounds. 2023, 25,416. 2024, 37,155. 2025, up to this point, 36,940. That's a 50% increase since 2020, since 2021. We've increased our play 50%. Again, that is why we are wanting to do this par 3 course, is because we have so much traffic on this golf course. So again, to the get more rounds, my question is where would you like us to get more rounds at? We went from 8 minutes in between tee times to 10 minutes during COVID, and now we're back down to 8 minutes in between tee times to try to accommodate it. What are we supposed to do? Go to 5? And have everybody bunched up on each other?
That means there'd be no beginners out there.
Correct. So get more rounds. Where? Where would you like us to fit more rounds out there? Get more members? Just talked about it. 90 some new members. How many total?
746.
2025, 746. 2022, 548. 2023, 543. 2024, 685. Just going to call out the elephant in the room here. I'd also like to point out that in those years, we had 2 fully functioning 18-hole golf courses in this town, and we still held strong with those numbers. We've increased our play since 2022, 36%. Or we've increased our membership since 2022, 36%. Again, at what point is enough to show that this is a project that we might deem it, hey, it's a nice to have, we might deem it that. But I think if you would ask our members, and if you would ask these people sitting around this table right now, we'd say, hey, we're very closely nudging up on like critical, this has to get done because our golf course can't sustain this for another 5 years, for another 6 years. We can't. Go look at our tee boxes. Go look at our tee boxes on par 3s. Can't keep doing this, right? So to that, raise more money, get more members, get more rounds. Where and how? I'm open to have the conversation with anybody who thinks that we need to do that, but I don't know where the heck we're going to find it. We are 171,000 over budget today. Is that right, Jason?
Pretty close.
We're 179,000 over in 2024, 133 over in 2023, 82 over in 2022, 114 over in 2021, and in 2020 we were $30,000 over approximately, and that was the COVID year. Throw it out. We are a money-making business. We are a money-making enterprise out there. And like Jeff said, and like I said, and I know that other people in this room have said this too, we're not blowing smoke when we say that the way that we do things out there is as good or better as anybody across the state of South Dakota. Just like Jeff, I play in a number of SPGA events. My daughter is a junior golfer. My son was a junior golfer, but my daughter still is a junior golfer. I've hit just about every major golf course across the entire state of South Dakota in the last 5 years. We do it better than anybody else. And that's why the SDGA keeps coming back to us, is because they know how we do it. We make money out there. We put a heck of a product out there. Jason does more with less out there in terms of help and all those things. Like, our course has only gotten better, and that's not a knock on anybody. Kevin was great. I'm not knocking Kevin, but our course has only continued to get better, right? Like, Kevin put it in a great spot, and Jason's picked that up, and like he's like carried that torch. He's carried that mantle, and actually made that place better. These numbers aren't going anywhere, okay? And like I said, I'm going to call the elephant out in the room because it keeps getting brought up at city council meetings. Nobody is cheerleading Wild Oak and what they have going on out there more than the people sitting at this table. More than Jeff McEntee, Joel Reinish, Tom Young, Terry Riffle, Joe Schlimgen. Certainly nobody more than Jason Ganeri and Eric Keep. Because we need the help. We absolutely need the help. We are happy to have these numbers. We're happy to have our members. We're happy to have these new golfers. But again, we can't sustain this. We can't do it. And I know Chase. Chase is working his tail off out there, and he has some fantastic ideas out there, and they're turning that stuff into reality. I have zero question that guy is going to kill it over there. Zero question whatsoever. He's eager. He's got a bunch of people who are with him, who are working with him, who are helping him out, who are eager as well too. But I will also firmly say that there is absolutely room for 2 well-run golf courses in this town. There's plenty to go around. So like this keeps getting brought up and I keep hearing it, and that's fine. I understand it, right? But the city of Mitchell either needs to figure out, are we in the golf course business or are we not? Because this golf course has been here for a long, long, long time. And I don't know how you put that toothpaste back in that tube and take the city out of the golf course business. So if we're going to be in the business, let's do it. Let's do it right. I am 110% in support of this par 3 course because it is going to grow the game, because it is going to give our members an opportunity to do something different, and it is going to help those kids and those people who want to start this game. It helps Wild Oak too. It helps them too, right? This par 3 will absolutely grow the game. And in my eyes, that's one of the most important things that we need to be looking at doing right now. So yeah, I'm in favor of it.
Eric, what's your thoughts?
I'm in favor of the new par 3 course. I mean, when you look at the play out there, and then when we have events, people could still come out play on the short course. It's a added amenity basically out at Lakeview, having the short course. I would probably say we probably had a record number of events out there. When the course is shut down for those 5 hours, families can still come out. It's still basically open for business instead of us being basically closed for business during those events. We still can have other people that don't play in those events come out. It would be huge for the junior golfers. I mean, I see it. I've seen it more and more over the last 3 years. I mean, obviously the numbers show, but junior golfers are, just this last Monday, there was no school. It wasn't that nice of a day. There was 2 middle school groups out there, foursomes. There's a couple high school foursomes out there. Parents dropped their kids off there. There was 2 different college groups out there too playing because they didn't have school, so they wanted somewhere to hang out. They're coming to Lakeview to hang out. It would be cool to have a short course for them to come out. Sometimes they don't want to. Some of those college kids are paying green fees every time. If we have a short course that they can pay a little cheaper rate, I was in college once, they would want to go play that instead of going to the course. Even sending some of the new junior golfers out to the course. They come with their parents. They want to play the course. I mean, so they go out there. Well, sometimes we're busy and we don't have. I mean, can't really send them. We suggest going to the range and stuff. Now we could suggest them going over to the short course to learn how the game of golf should be played, rather than going to the big course. So, I mean, I'm in favor of it. I mean, I get the point of doing the lump thing in one with hole 5, 14, the new forward tees and stuff. But I mean, if that's not an option, we don't have either the enough money set aside for it or enough money to get the whole project done. The short courses, I think it would just be another great amenity for Lakeview to have, especially after knowing that it could go over by that practice green. It would be its own little practice area, basically, with that practice green over there and not being out kind of in the boonies out on the south end of the driving range.
Jason?
Welcome in.
Oh, sorry, got something in my eye. Yeah, I mean, I'm in favor of it. I mean, between what you guys have said already, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but there will be extra costs. Yes, it is not going to be a astronomical amount, but you add something like that, yes, you will have extra costs, but I think it's worth it. So, I'm just going to say it's growing the game. So that's the way I look at it. So,
Can you get the manpower to take care of another 5 holes?
yeah, I think so. Is this going to be,
I mean, will the city let you hire that many people?
as long as it's in the budget? So, I guess if they don't, then some things on the regular course maybe don't get done quite as often or whatever. So,
Well,
But-
I want to see the
Yep.
big course.
yeah, and I don't want to either. So, I don't think it's going to be a large addition. because there won't be traditional tee boxes. It's going to be 60 to maybe 100-yard holes. The the fairways will just blend into the tee boxes, and probably won't even really have tee markers out. The greens won't be overly big. So it will be extra operations, but that will probably get done after the regular course gets done. So, but yeah, I like the idea of it. So.
Just to reiterate, so I'm going in on after this year, I'll be going to my 12th year as the clubhouse manager. So I've been there before COVID, when the game wasn't as popular. I spent a lot of time at the golf course during the summer months, obviously, at the clubhouse, seeing the people that come through there and stuff. The game of golf has completely changed from when I was 25 starting here. Now I'm 36. It's completely changed in the amount of juniors. When I was in college, I didn't even, I played college golf, and I didn't even think, my buddies wouldn't ask me, oh, let's go out to the golf course and do that. Now college kids are coming out all the time to the golf course. Younger kids are coming out to the golf course. It's just another amenity that would be sufficient for those junior golfers, and even for members that have been members at Lakeview for 25 plus years. They probably think it's pretty cool once it's in and there. And I get from Jason, I mean, it's another thing you got to maintain. It's a whole nother operation basically, but I mean, if it's done correctly, which I'm in favor of it, to grow the game as well, I mean, it can be done right, and it can be a great amenity for Lakeview.
Have you heard any comments from the ladies? Neither
I
one.
haven't heard anything, no.
What's your thoughts?
I am in favor of it. I
I will-
think we need it for a course in response to the busyness that we've gotten over the last few years. I think it'll be a great thing, especially we've gotten so many more events on some of the weekends that you can't go out for, quite some time. Our grandsons are getting into golf, and so I just think it would be a good thing for all around in general.
I can tell you from the ladies. I can tell you from the ladies that I know, they are excited.
They're
But here's the other thing we haven't even talked about. I think there's another market out there that we haven't even discussed. Are the older people? Okay, I think of my parents when they would go south. Okay, they would play golf down in Arizona. They come back to Mitchell, they never play. Okay, but if you can get some of the older people, okay, and I'm getting older too, I get it. But I mean, now they're not going to be intimidated at a big course, not anybody, coming up on them, but they can go out and socialize and play a little golf. I mean, we could get their interest too and their money.
big
be a
thing
good
too was, I mean, the new forward tees for the ladies. I see older gentlemen now playing those new forward tees because I just posted our social media. You don't have to play the normal set of tees, just play it forward. And there's gentlemen that are 85, 80 years old. They're starting to play the red tees, which I'm getting away topic off the short course. But I mean, that was a thing that helped not just the junior golfers. It helped the average golfer, the one just starting, having those new set of tees in. I think this short course would be the same way. I mean, the members that have been there, I think they will think it's the coolest thing ever when they actually just get to go do it. It might not be something they do every day like they want to on the normal course, but
But they would have an option too.
an option too, yeah.
And to the men playing those forward tees, that's going across the golf market all over. I mean, it's more play to your ability than, because if you're not a very good golfer, go ahead, go play those forward tees. So, anyways.
I started to say, like, the ladies that I know that I golf with or that I work with, actually, there's a whole gaggle of them who are getting into it. They love the idea. They love the concept because the big course scares them. It's intimidating. They freak out when they have the quote unquote regular golfers who show up on the tee box behind them when they're only 70 yards down the fairway, right? Like that's a real thing. And I look back to when I was teaching my kids to golf. Think back to when I was teaching my daughter how to golf. How awesome this would have been to be able to pull her off and take her to a 60-yard hole, a 90-yard hole, a 100-yard hole, because that's where her ability was then, right? Like this is a whole other like teaching, growing realm to have these holes that are there. And look at our golf programs here in Mitchell and the success that we've had both individually, but also as teams as well too. I mean, it's only going to add to that, right? I mean, to me, this is the biggest no-brainer in the history of no-brainers. Especially when we have approximately 3/4, Jeff, right?
Yes.
Especially when we have approximately 3/4 of it to bring to the table. Why is this even a discussion?
You know, and I get that side of things when, we're an enterprise fund. I get that. But there's no hard, fast rules on enterprise funds.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask you, Kevin. Do you? Because
So-
we hear about enterprise funds. Like, what's the deal with them? Do you know? And I don't want to put you on the spot. I mean, I know
All an enterprise fund is an accounting method for municipalities. So they can run a entity like a golf course or a public utilities, water, sewer, like a business, and do the accounting for that. There are no hard, fast rules on whether influx of general fund dollars can or cannot be. It's up to the city to decide their policy on that. And the information I was able to glean, and I'm sure there's more experts out there, this is just me doing my little digging because I've heard the enterprise fund thing over and over and over again, is it is actually quite common across the country, but it's up to the states to have the rules on it for entities to provide money to these types of services to keep the fee structures intact, which gets back to when we set fees, which we're going to talk about later. And I've had this discussion with other people in the city. When we set fees, we meet, honestly, we could raise our fees by 40% and probably not lose a nickel. Our income would be the same. That those people that can afford the 40% increase would pay the 40%. Those that can't would quit. And what it allows us to do is to retain those individuals. And I think our structure that we've come up with here is working. And we've got people that can't afford country club dues because we're not a country club. We're a city golf course, a public golf course. And by doing it the way we have it set up, within reason, and I get that, we've grown the game in Mitchell. I don't know if there's any other. I mean, I know golf is growing, but I'd be interested to see what the other city-owned public golf courses of similar size to us have done in terms of revenue compared to where we're at. I doubt there's many publicly owned golf courses out there outside of maybe Sioux Falls or Rapid City that's going to show 38,000 rounds played. I don't know if they exist. And so by keeping the fees reasonable, and we compare rates with other comparable sized entities, we keep them competitive. But Joel just went through the numbers on how much we've actually raised our rates, and it's not insignificant. So when we're asking for $317,000 or whatever it is in general funds to help push this project through. I don't know of any other projects in city government that come with 70% of the hard dollars up front, other than something that may have a federal or state grant tied to it. But I'm not in your guys' position to get to make that decision, and we compete with everybody else for that $300,000. But I do think that our bang for our buck And I think one of the councilmen said the juice and squeeze issue. Well, I think we've documented pretty well that it's not a want. I think it's truly a need, and I think it'll go a long ways to our community, not just our golfers.
And I know I went a little hard there, which I don't apologize for, by the way.
Why would you?
Yeah, no. But I also understand too, and I've said it in these meetings before, that I understand that the people who sit in these chairs every other Monday or whatever it is when they meet, they got a lot of decisions to make, and they have a lot of people who are, asking them for help and assistance, like subsidies and those sorts of things, but also to city dollars. Like, I get it. Like other departments. I mean, heck, I was a cop in this town. I mean, if anybody knows about budgets and not having enough money, come talk to me, right? So I understand that the people who sit here, I understand that they have like hard decisions to make. And myself and Councilman Bathke, we had a great conversation, probably about an hour and a half, more than an hour conversation after the meeting a couple of weeks ago, not the most recent one, but the one before, where I'm just like, hey man, I don't know where you stand on this. And we had a really good conversation. And, one thing that he brought up was an enterprise fund. And that's why I wanted to know more about an enterprise fund to find out what that really means. But we had a great conversation. And like, there's one thing that I'll absolutely give him credit for is he's a guy who believes what he believes and he sticks to his convictions. And so like, there's no ill will or animosity or anything like that. Like as far as the person who sits in this chair, during those meetings. But again, that's why I say we got to decide we're in the golf course business or we're not. And that was actually, one of the things that we talked about. And like, how are you going to undo this? How are you going to unring this bell? If the city of Mitchell, if we can't be competitive in terms of putting out a good product for city land that we own and a golf course that is a municipality and those things, like if we can't continue to put out a good product and put out, like Jeff says, no, like actually we're reaching mead status here. Like if we can't do that, what can we do? Right? What can we do? But I do take issue with raise your rates, bring in more golfers, find more members. I just told you. And we've sat here for the 2 years that I've sat on this every year going, hey, what are we going to do with these increased number of golfers that we have? We don't know where to put them. Hey, Jason, what are you going to do about the tee boxes? What are you going to do about this? Like, I don't understand that argument. If there's another reason for making that argument, I would love to hear it. Like if there's another agenda out there, I'd love to hear it. But the raise your rates, find more golfers, bring in more members, we can't. We're maxed out. We're maxed out.
Just one more thing that came to mind when you said that. So when phase 2 got done, I look back and, we're looking at improving the course, and golf has changed from when that golf course was built. Length, width, all that stuff. That was one of the only significant changes that have been improved at Lakeview since the early 1980s. I mean, yeah, there's been some tweaking here or there, but when they added the new 9, that was significant. And there's been no influx that I'm aware of this kind of improvements that I think are long overdue. And this is just one more step getting that direction. And, Dan, as far as the council goes, this is a capital influx. It's not we're not coming back every year and, we've got our phases and we're going to advocate for those, but this isn't to heal up our budget. This is to make improvements out there. And I know your feelings on the true phase 3 plan with 14 and 5 and all that. I want that to happen. I think that's going to be a great part of the course, but reading the tea leaves right now, it's not in the cards, according to my listening to the council, but the short course is, and I'm going to highly recommend we proceed.
Well, and as a growing entity, wouldn't you think that council would want us to proceed with some of these things that will continue to let and allow the course to grow? I mean, it is a revenue, it's not but it sustains itself, doesn't it, as far as that goes? And so if we're looking at it, I'm not saying picking on anything, but you've got something that's growing and doing well and bringing in people and revenue and kids and this and that, and then you have the lake that we spend lots of money on. It's really not a revenue generating for the city.
Right.
I mean, I'm not trying to be crappy to anyone or anything, but I'm just saying that I guess I feel like if we're wanting to invest in something that's growing, why would the council want to also do something like that? Or the whole city in general want it to continue to grow?
I noticed the last council meeting, you had to do a whole fight.
Last one, plural.
I felt sorry for you.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I mean, we got somebody advocating starting private business, which is the golf course, against that, we're supposed to slow down or not make improvements or to encourage this or what?
Well, I'd like to, there's something
One
that
of
Joel
my
was,
students, ex-students.
something that Joel was saying is that we want Wild Oak to succeed. We want Chase to do well. We're not in direct competition with them. That's not why we're here. That's not why I'm on the board. We want the best golf course that we can have here, and the improvements, like Steph just said, is that we haven't really done anything super significant for 40 years.
Yeah.
So what do you need from us?
You got it?
Got it?
Needed consensus.
Like a vote?
I think I heard it.
You don't need a vote.
No.
It's unanimous. So it's like there was one, unless you want to vote, but I don't know what the vote would be.
I don't either. It's a discussion item, so it's,
The big thing at the last meeting was, dropping from phase 3 to just a short course. That just happened last meeting. And so that's, because he said, are you speaking for the board? I said, no, I'm speaking for myself. But and that's why he said, we'll go back to the board and see what it did. I said, I think it's before our next meeting, which is tonight. So. Yeah. I got what I need anyway.
and if you think there would be any benefit by having one or any of us there for questions at the next meeting, we gladly do that. But
It never hurts on a budget, but yeah.
It'd have to be-
Looks better if you're there.
It'd have to be
Whole thing.
slid in as part of the budget discussion, otherwise they're gonna get 3 minutes if they're gonna come up during public commentary time.
Or they get asked.
is there, so Monday, is there a budget meeting again on a council, or is it just council?
I have the agenda on my desk, and I just got it earlier today.
I haven't looked at it yet. So. You didn't see it on there?
I didn't look.
There's gotta be something on budget for it. It just come out today, so I
Well-
don't see it.
I can pull up the agenda right now.
Tom said he'd come run my combine for me, so
That's what he wants.
it's just like doing an eye exam.
Oh, no, that's gonna work out for you.
It'll work out fine for him.
Starts at 6 o'clock.
And there's nothing, go back to the main city. There's nothing before it.
Okay, well, you've got our feelings.
There's not a separate 5:30 meeting, is what I'm saying. That's not to say that it won't come up during regular council meeting.
Anything else on that, or we'll move on? The 2026 rate discussion.
I handed out to you guys our rate history. I'm in the process of doing a rate comparison, but I haven't gotten that done yet. So the orange is what our current rates are this year. And what we've done up last year, we went up 5% across it was pretty much across the board except for the driving range because we went up pretty good chunk on that the year before. Just at what I've been looking at so far, we had comparables to other golf courses, but it wasn't, when we were doing it, it was what they were the year before, not this current year. So I've started collecting that. We could do an increase and still be right in the ballpark. We're not the lowest, we're not the highest this year, this current year. So it's kind of where we've always been. And that's taking out Sioux Falls courses, Brandon, and Rapid City golf courses. So just considering Aberdeen, Yankton, Pier, Huron, Brookings, Watertown, Aberdeen, those type courses are where we're always trying to be in. So, I guess just want to get you guys' thoughts ahead of time before we start getting into this, but probably ask a couple of you to meet in a smaller group after we kind of get the group's kind of thoughts, and then we'll kind of nail it down a little bit, send it out to everybody, get everybody's thoughts from there, and then probably in the next 2 meetings we'll have a vote
Jason,
on.
do you email them or do you just look online for their rates?
I look online.
Okay.
I just go online and I just what their rates say and then go from there. So,
I was going to have something to email.
in what I've seen so far, quite a few of them went up this last year. There was only one or two that this year's rates was the same as last year's rates. So,
Did you hear anything on rates, everyone? Nothing.
I like where the rates are at. I mean, they're in the middle of the road, and nobody ever said, "Oh, that's way too much," or "You're not." I mean, the main thing would be a lot of people that come from Sioux Falls, Rapid. We're on the lower side, obviously, compared to them, but for our market and where we're at, I mean, could we be a little higher? Yes, but I think we're right where we need to be. And we've been going on a 2-year cycle of raising rates, not every year, but
Every 2 years.
you don't want to keep going up and discourage people from coming out either. I mean, somebody comes out for say $90 to play for 18 holes on a cart, that guy's not going to come back again. But at our rates, they're going to come back 6, 7, 8 times and play, especially with how the course is maintained and everything. They're going to come back at those type of rates. So I mean, I've told Jason this. I like where we're at on rates, but that's your guys' discussion if you want to up or
Go
the
ahead.
one we've been a little bit more consistent with taking increases in its punch cards. How have those been for, like, I know your numbers for this year, but like how does that stack up with traditional years
This year compared to previous years?
like have you seen those fall off?
It's a little lower. More people are going towards memberships.
They're just getting
Yeah,
memberships.
because previous years people would buy 2 or 3 punch cards. Well, they're almost out of memberships, and then they're like, well, I'll just buy a membership. So then our punch cards go down in how many we sell because we're doing more in memberships.
Yeah, we've kind of been on that every 2-year
Yeah, 2-year rate increase basically.
To go back to, I think Jeff said it, we could go up 40%, and but that would help fix the amount of play we have. So it's kind of a balance. It's you want to be a good enough number that you're getting your most amount of money, but if you raise your rates up and you lose play, you're at the same spot. So.
Well, and if this short course comes to be, obviously, it's going to be a hard look at rates then, right? Because if this happens, would it be construction next year? Or would it be the year after that?
It's possible next year, but it wouldn't be no guarantee. The original plan was for the year after, but
since it wouldn't interfere with play
yeah,
and it wouldn't be as large of a project, there's a greater chance that if you had the whole thing going on.
yeah.
Yeah, because we're going
So
to
then,
hard look at it.
so then the only part about that it would possibly get done next year is that they wouldn't be limited to this set of time that they have to do the project. They can do it whenever it falls into their schedule. So,
I don't like. I personally want to see where we stack up, because to me that's the most important thing when we look at rates is being where we need to be with those other municipalities.
Yeah.
Is
Or could you
the most important thing for
kind
me.
of do what you did in the past? Is,
Yeah.
Look at those and make some recommendations.
Yeah.
I do say this, I've played a lot of those small courses just on the senior tour, and it's amazing. We're right there with the smaller courses, where the smaller courses are right there with us in terms of green fees and card fees. So we're not.
We're not gouging anybody.
No.
So I guess my opinion is we have space that we could go up, but it's a matter of how high. So,
And I think, I don't know if this was mentioned, me and Jason talked from our rate increase of this year, we probably made 10 to 14,000 just based off the rate increase from this year.
that was our rate increase for weekend greens fees.
For weekend green fees, yeah. Because
So-
we just put in weekend rates.
Yeah, was it just this year we did that? Or was it last year too?
Last year is when we started in 2024, so last year is when we started. So we've been on
Okay.
2 years with it, but this year was that's what we figured.
So yeah. So you add that. We did the credit card fee. We've made increases. So, but yeah, I mean, like we talked about, we're on a record again for revenue. So, where do you draw that line? So, is the question. So. And like you said, I'll have more comparisons and all that down the road, but I haven't gotten that done yet. So,
Kevin, when you guys set rates for the rec center, what do you guys look at?
3 to 5%.
But do you look at like other in town? Do you look at like other like city run rec centers like across the state, or are you
More
just
so go with the feel of where we're at, got community.
Okay. Anything else on rates? I think we did that last time too. We had a subgroup meet when you had that put together, and even the comparison courses, you could send that out to everybody to look at and provide your input. And
but remember when you do that, don't reply.
don't reply all. Yeah.
So.
Anything else? Next meeting is the 10th of November, back to our regular time. I hope
Tuesday's
Veterans
Day, the 11th.
Yeah, Tuesday's Veterans Day. Gulf Cemetery, we're on the calendar. We're adjourned.